How to Train Your Dragon was an epic, character-driven animated film from 2010 about a young Viking named Hiccup who tames a dragon named Toothless. Hiccup's actions teach his clan to collaborate with dragons rather than kill them. How to Train Your Dragon is one of my all-time favorite films, and I especially love the soundtrack. When the live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon was released, I was naturally both excited and skeptical. And now that the film has been released, I can't wait to watch it. But before I see the movie, I'm going to discuss the high standards that the animated film has set for the remake, especially in terms of music. Music is an essential narrative tool in the original How to Train Your Dragon film, from the dramatic cues of Down Dragon to the peaceful strings in Romantic Flight, and every other track in between. Remakes in general tend to have a reputation for potentially ruining the original films. The success of the live-action How to Train Your Dragon in particular relies on only one song. Can you figure out what it is? Hello, I'm Enicio, a high school art student, learning how art and technology are used to tell impactful stories. Let's get into today's How to Train Your Dragon discussion. Let's clearly lay out the promotional material we've been given up to the point of the movie's release. The movie and full soundtrack came out on May 13th, 2025. But about 3 weeks before that happened, one song from the new soundtrack was released before all the others. Test Drive. Let's pretend it's still May 12th, or any other day before the film and full soundtrack came out. Because, as mentioned earlier, I have yet to see the movie and listen to the full soundtrack. But this is an active decision because I believe in the synergy of music and visuals in film. When I first saw the original animated How to Train Your Dragon a few years ago, I didn't listen to the soundtrack before seeing the movie. I want to be able to compare the original version and the remade version, and I don't think I can do that fairly if I listen to the new music before watching the movie. Test Drive is the popular track for the scene in which Hiccup and Toothless fly together for the first time. This happens after Hiccup had designed a replacement tail fin to help Toothless fly. It's important to note that the How to Train Your Dragon soundtrack is being remade by the same composer who scored the original trilogy, John Powell. At first, when I listened to John Powell's new version of Test Drive, which is called Test Driving Toothless, it seemed weaker than the original. As time went on, I realized that it sounded weaker for two reasons. One, modernization. The mixing style and sound palette have been updated to match the aesthetic of a live-action film that is coming out in 2025, not an animated stylized film that came out in 2010. I speculate that this approach may be what causes the new version to seem weaker at first, although it may simply be the result of a modern style. 2. Dynamics. The second reason Test Driving Toothless may sound weaker than its original counterpart is dynamics. The core principle of dynamics is contrast. To make something seem louder, make things surrounding it quieter. Test Driving Toothless starts more quietly than the old Test Drive because it gets more dramatic later. This quiet start could be the reason the new version of Test Drive seems weaker than the original. However, when the new version and the original version are played simultaneously, no differences are noticeable. This means that the tracks are practically identical in arrangement. The composer, John Powell, stated faithfulness to the original version as his main intention.
If I've done my job right, people will think I haven't done anything different at all. But there are a lot of differences going on, and I'm trying to make them feel as if they always were there.
John Powell's commitment to the original How to Train Your Dragon suggests that the new HTTYD film will be overall similar to the original. However, there is one major change that Powell made for dynamic's sake. In Test Driving Toothless, we have a moment of silence. This is the part in the film in which Hiccup is disconnected from Toothless midair and loses the cheat sheet of flying positions he had designed. In the original Test Drive sequence, notice how Hiccup is starting to gain confidence in himself, but his confidence is shaken when his paper blows away.
Okay there, bud. We're gonna take this nice and slow. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Position 3, no, 4. Go time. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Yes, it worked. Sorry. That's Chief, stop! No! Oh gosh! Oh God! Oh no! All right, okay, you gotta kind of angle yourself. Okay, no. Come back down towards me. Come back down. Ow! Come on!
Now, compare the original test drive sequence to the live-action test drive sequence. It was released as part of promotional material for the live-action film. In this version, notice the moment of musical silence intensifies the drama of Hiccup uncontrollably free-falling with the dragon.
Yeah, go baby! Oh, this is amazing! The wind's in mine! Cheese! Stop! Oh, God!
This clip was an excellent addition to the original test drive sequence, and it enhances Hiccup's character arc of finding confidence. When he is disconnected from Toothless, Hiccup's confidence is shaken. The beneficial additions to Test Drive suggest a strong remake of How to Train Your Dragon. It seems that Test Drive was the one song I was talking about that can save the live-action How to Train Your Dragon. But if you were thinking of Test Drive, that's not it. Try again. There's another song that's more important to determining the success of the live-action remake. A franchise that has successfully been converted from a very cartoonish yet emotional animation into a photorealistic drama is The Lion King. The original 1994 Lion King film was about the call to responsibility of a young exiled heir named Simba. The Lion King remake from 2019 used 3D computer animation that looks so realistic that is often called live action. The story of 2019 Lion King is similar to the story of the original film. Although fans and critics have differing opinions on the 2019 Lion King's visual aesthetic, its soundtrack for the most part was even stronger than the original. The same way John Powell scored both the original How to Train Your Dragon music and its remake, Hans Zimmer scored much of both the original Lion King and its remake. Although not every song in Lion King 2019 is perfect, I have an overall positive opinion of the new version because the most important musical cue is successfully reinterpreted. This scene is the most pivotal scene in Lion King, the Stampede. The music of this scene is called To Die For in the 1994 version and Stampede in the 2019 version. The Stampede is a scene in which Scar, the envious brother of Mufasa the king, lures Mufasa into a gorge to save his son Simba from a stampede of wildebeest. At the end of the scene, instead of saving his brother as he tries to climb up the cliff, Scar pushes Mufasa off the edge. This scene is emotional and dramatic. In the following audio clips, notice how the 2019 version sounds more grand. The Stampede sequence is the most important scene in the Lion King film because it's the inciting incident of Simba's character arc. With the death of Mufasa in the Stampede, Simba's overconfidence dissolves into self-doubt as he blames himself for the unfortunate event. However, throughout the rest of the film, Simba learns to regain confidence in himself. Since Lion King successfully upscaled its most important scene, there is hope that How to Train Your Dragon can do so as well. Now that we're done discussing Lion King for today, we must eliminate another song. That's right, the Stampede is not the one song that is the key to live-action How to Train Your Dragon success. That song that HTTYD needs is Forbidden Friendship. The Forbidden Friendship scene in the original animated HTTYD movie corresponds to the Stampede in The Lion King. It's the scene in which Hiccup and Toothless become friends for the first time, and is the inciting incident of Hiccup's character arc. This sequence, consisting of hardly any dialogue, is driven by music. The scene was built to rely on music so much that the creators didn't even write a script for it. They went straight to storyboarding. The sound crew of the original How to Train Your Dragon film describes the Forbidden Friendship sequence this way.
It's so spare, it's funny, it's one of those things, if you take the sound out of the sequence, it's going to feel very, very strange without it there. It's our language, it's our dialogue.
The almost hypnotic, sweeping melodies and music in Forbidden Friendship clearly communicate the emotions between Hiccup and Toothless in the scene that describes the start of a genuine friendship. All these examples, Test Drive, The Stampede, and Forbidden Friendship, prove that music is essential to remaking How to Train Your Dragon. It was a great film, and as proven by The Lion King, it is possible for remakes to be successful. I can't wait to see the new How to Train Your Dragon. What do you think of the How to Train Your Dragon remake? Was it stronger or weaker than the original? Or do you agree or disagree with my pre-analysis? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'm Enicio, and have a great day.